All right, welcome back to LiveStream Under the Moonshine. This is LiveStream Under the Moonshine number 281, everybody. Welcome back to part two of this very interesting visual novel, if you would. So we actually have a visual novel about a young lady who has a favorite video game that she's been playing for over 2 years. And she even has a favorite character in the video game that she knows all about. And it's her favorite video game character ever. She's talks about how she's like in love with this character named Eugene. And then while she goes to school, one Monday morning after staying up too late on this video game, the homeroom teacher says they got a new kid in school. And that this Eugene, I think his name was Eugene Failure, is new to class. So somehow this video game character came to the real world, and he is now sitting beside her in class. In the last episode, the first part, uh, she looked familiar to him as well. And her name, what is her name again? I know I pronounced it wrong because my girlfriend listened to it this morning and said, "Oh my God, you were pronouncing the girl's name wrong." So we're going to get back into this, guys. So they are sitting in her car during school, missing class because she looked familiar to him. Her name is Sadie. And I was pronouncing, I think, Sadie yesterday, but her name is pronounced Sadie. And his name is Eugene Failure. So he is sitting in her car. He took her outside the school to show her that he was real because she didn't believe it. She refused to believe that a video game character had come into her real world. And he proved it by pulling out a magical, I think it was a magical guitar or something, and was playing it. And it's the same thing that he had in his video game. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So he basically says that he had been wandering around he came to this world. He's from another planet, and she, of course, knows him and knows what planet he's from because she knows the video game. So he is here now in her car, and he is destined to figure out what's going on and what's behind all this. And she wants to know how the hell he got here as well. So we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off, guys. And welcome back to this visual novel. Oops. What happened to my... There we go. Hang on just a moment here. One thing I did want to do is I want to go ahead and go back to the settings because I could barely hear any music in the game. And I want to... Let's see. Music volume. Let's turn the music volume up a little bit. Usually you want your music volume pretty low, but we're going to go ahead and turn it up just a little bit so maybe we hear a hint of it in the video. Alright. A butterfly stirred in my stomach. I nodded. Sadie says, "Yeah." We paused for a minute, soaking in the newfound information that was shared before Eugene turned to me once again. "So, Sadie, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? I'm pretty sure you know practically everything about me already, so I think I should get to know you just a little bit better." Yeah, he has like these pink eyes as well, which is pretty interesting. My face flushed red over again. I was honestly still wrapping my head around the fact that Eugene was sitting in my car, like in real life. Seeing him in the flesh was absolutely stunning, and I was struggling to not catch feelings already. "Oh, yeah, you are like way more interesting than I am, though. You fought aliens and villains, and I've literally just been trying to survive high school." He laughs. "I wish I was just trying to survive high school. I was kind of forced into enrolling in the Stellar Academy. I mean, I didn't ask for my planet to get destroyed after all. Before that, I was just a regular kid." "You're not missing out, I promise you. I mean, my life has been incredibly average until you showed up." My days were just full of playing video games, reading and watching TV shows, attending school, and completing my homework. It's the same cycle every day. But you broke the cycle, Eugene. I started picking at a stitch that had been sewn to the leather on the steering wheel of my car, trying to avoid eye contact. I'm I'm just really glad you showed up, honestly. It's all pretty terrifying, but I really wanted to do something more in my life. I felt like I wasn't doing enough. Suddenly, Eugene touched my chin and turned my head gently in his direction, forcing me to look at him. I froze as my eyes graced his stunning face that was perfectly smooth with absolutely no pimples or marks to be seen on the surface of his skin. Well, that'd be pretty rare for a teenager, right? That has to be a video game character. No pimples, such smooth, perfect skin on a guy? Come on. The only thing that was on his face was one freckle on his right cheek near his eye. It was impossible for someone to look this perfect. No wonder he's from another reality. Hey, just because you're living a calm life doesn't mean that you weren't doing enough. In fact, you didn't need me to show up to believe that you have a purpose. My heart grew warm at his words. However, I just know that we're going to work really well together. Uh-huh. Eugene said this as he let go of my chin and beamed, nearly causing me to die right then and there. Oh my God. I muttered this under my breath, totally flustered. Huh? Eugene turned his head a little in confusion. Clearly and thankfully he hadn't heard me freaking out under my breath. Ah, nothing. I was just thinking that maybe we should go back to school in time for the third period at least. I panicked, quickly changing the subject. Oh, yeah, you're so right. We better get going then. Eugene opened the car door and began to exit the car. I watched him, and then I smiled to myself. Hey, I said this right before he closed the door. Eugene leaned back into my car, a questioning look on his face. Thank you, seriously. That means so much to me, you have no idea. He smiled again. You unlocked a memory. You're welcome, Sadie. You're welcome, Sadie. Yeah, not Sadie, Sadie. Chapter 1 complete. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the memory. I think it was. Yep, car conversation. Here we go. This car conversation is something that Sadie Finley never thought she'd experience with Eugene failure. Usually, car conversations are fun and good for the soul. But in this particular conversation, Eugene warns Sadie that may have a long and mysterious battle against the evil solstice ahead of them. Okay. So we have two more memories. Oh no, we have several more memories to unlock. So it looks like we're barely started here, guys. We've only unlocked two memories and we have like 10 to go. So yeah, it looks like the game is just starting. Chapter 1 complete. Oh, it looks like you're getting a message from the system player. Would you like to read Sadie's journal? Yeah. Sadie's journal, Chapter 1 game. The latest update of the open world RPG Stellar. It included a release of a new planet called Crown, a magical light planet that recently allied with the prestigious Stellar Academy against Solstice. Sadie's favorite character in the open world RPG Stellar. He was the first exquisite character, which are the rarest characters in the game. I think we read this yesterday, but no problem. Read it again. Eugene is from the late planet Adoni, and he wields a sword called the Last Hope of Infinite Trials. Eugene is overall a very kind and warm person who will do anything for the people that he cares about. He unfortunately went through a cold and distant phase after the destruction of Adoni, his planet. However, with the help of his peers at the Stellar Academy, he was able to turn that grief into fuel for his battles against Solstice. He vows that one day he will take Milo, the leader of Solstice, down once and for all. Sadie's journal, chapter 1 of the game. One of Sadie's parents, she still works at home in the mornings. Sadie's dad works in downtown Portland and is almost always out of the house. However, the two of them are very supportive and they are always there for Sadie. The last hope of the Infinite Trials? Eugene's world. It was given to him by his late mother, who used it to be a royal guard on Adoni before she retired. This sword represents the constantly having to fight for what you believe in, even until the very end of your life. The last hope of Infinite Trials was also recently modified by Stellar Academy to carry pink prime radiant energy to make a sword even stronger than before. The Stellar Academy Eugene School. Stellar Academy is a high-tech space school that once focused on flight training and adventuring. However, since Malion's recent destructive actions, Stellar Academy has now solely focused on combating Solstice and defending the planets of the galaxy. Adoni, Eugene's home planet, it was the first planet to join the long list of planets that were destroyed by Solstice, and that list was eventually titled The Departed. Adoni was a beautiful forest planet that was abundant with colorful trees and many different types of wildlife. Adoni placed special purpose on conserving the environment, building their capital city around the wildlife, instead of dismantling the natural flora and fauna to build on top of it. Maybe that is the very reason that why Malion found Adoni so threatening. They were able to survive in harmony with their environment, something that seemed impossible to Malion. Milo Adler is the prince of the planet Malion. He leads Solstice, the evil organization whose sole mission is to steal prime radiant energy for the glory of Malion. Solstice, a Malion army segment. Solstice is in charge of collecting prime radiant energy from the surrounding planets and managing all operations to do so. The king of Malion, Jericho Adler, put his son Milo in charge. Malion, Milo's home planet. Malion is a cyberpunk planet that has a very heavy emphasis on the sun, moon, and zodiac signs. Malion wasn't always a corrupted planet. However, when the Adlers took the throne, things took a turn for the worse as the government turned into a dictatorship. They forbade any of the citizens to leave Malion, brainwashing them and silencing the uprisings. Wow. Prime radiant energy, a type of powerful electricity that is abundant on every planet in the Orendo galaxy. It can be used for many things, including powering civilizations, making complicated machinery, and creating powerful weapons. These weapons react to the touch of a being, and it powers up when someone begins to wield or activate the energy. Stellar Academy and Solstice both use prime radiant energy religiously. In Stellar Academy's case, they made a partnership with the planet Ember, who was willing to supply the Academy with their energy in exchange for full protection against Solstice. Solstice's weapons have the ability to steal the surrounding electricity to fuel the prime radiant energy to make their weapons even more deadly. Stellar Academy has not yet figured out how Malion discovered this fact. A lot is unknown about the prime radiant energy, and countless scientists around the galaxy are currently researching it. So we have an excerpt here. Hey, I found this blank piece of paper on the floor. I think it's been stepped on a few times by various students, but it'll do. I hope this pencil doesn't break while I'm writing this down. My name is Eugene Failure, and I'm from another reality. God, it's so weird writing that. My whole life I figured that Orenda and the S11 system were all present in the one and only reality. But here I am on a planet called Earth, in a system called the Solar System. I'm not in another galaxy either. There is nothing on what they call the internet about any part of my life or world being real. All these pages say I'm from a video game. I'm fictional. I'm not even real. This is fucking insane. I feel insane. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel confused. What the hell do I even do? I don't know anyone. I don't even know how I got here. Do I just rot away in the school? Do I just cry about it, scrunched up in a corner? Am I even real? And then he put, I don't know anymore, but he scratched that out. I stole a computer today. It's not very advanced. This world has not even a sliver of the technology we have in Orinda, which is really crazy to me. It really makes me wish I could drink an Elixon invisible potion and just walk around and observe people in this reality. But I've just resorted to the internet. Uh, it has most of the answers on it, and I've already learned a lot about the Earth. Frankly, it's not all bad here on Earth, though. Their art, their music, their books feel inspired and beautiful. It makes me already fond of this place, despite everything else. I found out a lot about my own life on the internet. Every single fact about myself is plastered on a stellar wiki page. I'm freaking the fuck out. Does everyone know me? Can everyone see this? Everyone in the solar system? I really need to find someone I know soon, if that's even possible. I think I'm going to take a risk during the time where everyone goes to their next class. I prepared some clothes I can fit in properly. I don't think I can afford to attract unwanted attention. Update, I might have found someone. I don't know who they are, but they're familiar to me. I need to find out why. Update 2, her name is Sadie Finley, and I think this will be my last entry. So there we go. We have the whole journal. It looks like we just read the whole journal for this. And looks like lightning in a flower. Chapter 2, electricity. Cool. Let's go. Monday, 3:30 p.m. So basically it's the same day, just probably about the time school gets out. Sadie says, hey guys, I can't meet up after school today. See you all tomorrow. Yeah, we know why, right? Our friend Grace is like, no problem, no problem. What are you up to? And Sadie says, oh, just a family thing after school. Scarlett says, no worries, have fun with your family. With your family thing, lol. That's funny. Eugene's already in her car, huh? Hey, are you okay? You were frowning at that device pretty intensely just now. I clicked off my phone with a sigh and placed it in the cup holder in my car. Oh, it's fine. I just hate lying to my friends. I trust them, but I don't know. I can't risk anything. I turned the key in my car and the engine came to life. Oh, you don't have to help me, Sadie. I can do this on my own. Despite Eugene's relatively serious expression while saying that, I could just hear the longing for assistance in his voice. No, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm all you got. I put my car in drive and exited the little neighborhood I always parked in during the week. I watched the kids from the school pour out of the doors, anxious to get home after a long day. Seniors, juniors, freshmen, and sophomores all chatting and mingling, talking about all kinds of things imaginable. The surprising, pleasant spring breeze ruffled their hair as it passed through, and blew some leaves across the sidewalk. The grass and the new daisies also danced with the leaves, making you want to dance along with them. Alright, so guys, hang on just a second here. Give me a sec here. Got that. I'm just curious why I am not hearing any kind of music or anything. Let me go back to the settings real quick. Yeah, I mean, music is almost all the way up. Okay, well, guess there's not much music in this game, at least not right now. Sometimes I wish I never got my driver's license so I could truly enjoy taking in nature each day like I used to in my freshman year. However, I can't deny that I do love driving to and from school every day. Convenience wins, I guess. I saw Eugene watching the students in silence as I turned left down the hill in the direction of my home. I had to occasionally stop to let a pack of people cross the street, and they sometimes waved thanks in my direction, or sometimes they avoid eye contact as they just crossed the road. Suddenly, as if I had been abruptly pricked with a needle, a worrying thought jabbed my mind that sprung up a whole separate problem. My parents. There was no way they would let some random boy stay at our house, especially if I couldn't even tell them about his background. I turned to Eugene once I stopped at a red light. And Sadie says, Eugene, are you prepared to sneak into my house? Look at his face. Sneak in? I could tell he was caught off guard, slightly. Yeah, my parents are going to think I'm insane if I ask them if you can stay with us. It will be too sudden. Plus, they have no idea who you are. And it will be a lot better if you just sneak in, okay? The light turned green. He laughs. Oh, okay, well that makes sense. Nothing I haven't done before, that's for sure. I've snuck into Solstice ships countless times. Oh, that's so true. Yeah, because she knows all about him from playing his video game. Oh, by the way, there's cameras at the front door and the back door of my house. My room is by the front door, but there's a window on the other side where there's no camera. That's where you can get in. Eugene nodded in response. All right, that should be easy enough. I sighed. I can't believe I was really sneaking a boy into my room. On top of that, I skipped second period today. A complete rarity. Guess I was finally having a teeny taste of the cliche high school experience that everyone always talks about. I don't even know what a high school experience even means. Parties? Drinking? Ooh, having sex? All of that sounds just awful to me. I hate parties, I hate alcohol, and I'm asexual. Triple threat. As we drove up to my house, my nerves were eating away at my insides. I am so bad at lying, so I had no idea how I was going to pull this one off. However, I was ready. I had a good reason, and I had good motivation, so nothing could go wrong, right? Yeah, right. I squeezed my eyes shut, and I took a deep breath. He says, I assume you're not really the sneaky type, are you? He read me like a frickin' book. I snorted. Not at all. I am the least deceiving person ever. Well, if that makes you feel any better, hearing that is kind of relieving to me. I'd rather have someone truthful by my side than a liar. Color rushed to my cheeks at the speed of light. Oh, you're in luck. You found a true diamond in the rough. He laughed at that one, and my nerves melted away almost instantly. I love that face he makes. I guess I have. Before I could get more flustered than I already was, I shoved him out of my car, and we began Operation Sneak into Sadie's house. I inserted my key into the door, I unlocked it, and then glanced around to make sure my parents were still at work. Both of their cars were absent from the driveway, but a girl can never be too careful. I then sprinted in my room to help Eugene in through the window. Yeah, he's gonna see himself all over her wall, and then he's gonna be flustered, right? There's the music. Okay. So now that we turn the music up, now it's a little bit loud, I feel like. Let's turn it down just a tad. Yeah, we just want to hear the music when it does play. Okay, I think we're good. I pulled open my blinds too quickly, which caused them to crumple up in a lopsided fashion that looked extremely unpleasant. But hey, I didn't care. I was then face to face with Eugene, who was on the other side of the glass. He smiled and waved when he saw me, and I giggled in response. I flicked off the lock and pushed open the window, and then I grabbed Eugene's hand and I hoisted him in. I guided him awkwardly around the K-pop albums and books on my dresser in an effort to not send him and my stuff crashing to the ground. However, that proved to be way too difficult. Oh boy, you unlocked a memory. We both yelled in unison as Eugene lost his balance and fell right on top of me. Yeah, it's amazing how this kind of stuff happens, right? He fell right on top of her, and then his lips accidentally kissed mine. No, I'm just kidding. The coincidence, though. How come it is in these movies or in the movies and TV shows and video games and stuff like that, you know, it always just happens that you see two lovers or two people who are in love or whatever, they just happen to fall down and wind up in these situations where, you know, one's on top of the other. I think it even happened in one of my favorite Disney movies, The Lion King, with Simba and, you know, his little girlfriend. I was now staring up at him, and once again I froze. He was staring at me as well, and it made me want to sink into the floor and just evaporate. I'm having my Wattpad movement. Oh my god, Sadie, you're having your Wattpad movement. Suddenly, he started laughing, which interrupted my thoughts completely. It does sound like she's having a lot of fun, to be fair. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Are you alright? I was smiling like a damn idiot. Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm totally okay. I'll be more careful next time I sneak in, I promise. How fun. The music is even fun. Swiftly after he finished his sentence, I saw his eyes began to dart around my room, taking it all in. My face instantly flushed a deep red. Eugene stood up and my brain wanted me to stand out as well, but I was too flustered to even sit up. Oh, wow. You really love your boy bands, don't you? I could see a smirk appearing on his lips, and he admired a particular Monstra X poster on my wall. Oh, shut up! That was the best response I could come up with. You have like 600 of these. Honestly, it's impressive how many you have. Eugene marveled as he paced to a new Stray Kids poster I had gotten last weekend from an event at a baba shop. I stood up and tried to shake off my embarrassment. What? You don't know about the global sensation of K-pop? In all the research you didn't research about the best genre ever? Wow, disappointing. I was joking, of course. Eugene turned to me and threw his hands up in a defensive position. Whoa there, fangirl. Never said I had something against it. Looks like I'll have to educate you. You gotta be in the know if you're going to be friends. Although that's what she said to him. You gotta be in the know if we're gonna be friends. And I laughed. And he says, actually, I'd love to be educated. You've got me curious. Eugene then continued looking at each poster and everything else in my room. Wow. Oh, so we got a click me, Eugene's point of view, and then Sadie's point of view on the doll. It's a Michael the Green Bear. So Eugene's point of view, this bear looks so funny. I love them so much. I think this stuffed animal might be Sadie's favorite, judging on the fact that this bear is sitting directly on our bed. Hell, I don't blame her. This bear is especially cute. I wonder where she even got this stuffed animal from. Or if they have a name. I'd love to know it. Sadie's point of view. This silly little guy is named Michael. Named by my best friends Scarlett and Grace. Michael hangs out on my bed, usually because I like to cuddle with him at night. You're never too old to sleep with your stuffed animals, in my opinion. He looks so funny to me as well. Every time I look at Michael, I can't help but smile. That's really cool. Alright. Eugene's point of view at the Stray Kids No Easy poster? This was the first poster I laid my eyes on when I stepped into Sadie's room. Something about it just stood out to me, I guess. Stray Kids is what they're called, I think. I'm really curious how their music sounds. They look really moody and cool, so maybe their music is as well. The bands on Earth are so stylish. Sadie's point of view, the Stray Kids is one of my favorite K-pop groups of all time. I got this poster recently at a boba shop, and it's called The Cup Sleeve, and I had to put it up as soon as I got it. My biased favorite member is Han, which is also the name of the pink bear on my dresser. My favorite song by the Stray Kids is called Domino. I jam out to it 24/7. And then Eugene's point of view. Nope, we already did that one, sorry. I feel like I'm not clicking on the right one. Hello? Let's just click this. There's a pink bear on Sadie's dresser. It looks new to me based on the fact that this bear has no wear and tear. My stuffed animals back home have tons of patches on them due to the amount of years I've had them. Some of them are even from when I was still living on Adoni, and they're very precious to me. Han is my pink bear. I named him after Han from the K-pop group Stray Kids, since I had gone to the concerts and purchased the bear the same week. He vibes next to my books usually, and in this moment he's chilling with my Heartstopper books. I think he looks super cute sitting there. Okay. Eugene's point of view on her Monstra X light stick? To be completely honest with you, I have no idea what this is. It sort of looks like a microphone. It has a glitter inside of it, and a switch on the back. Maybe it's a flashlight of some kind? Man, I must look so stupid standing here trying to piece together what this thing is. I'll have to ask Sadie later. Sadie's point of view? I almost wanted to laugh at Eugene when he looked at my light stick. He almost looked offended by its existence. But I think it's just because he has no idea what it is. Well, she'd be right. I hope one day we can go to a Monster X concert together, and he can see what it looks like to be at a concert with 1,000 light sticks in the audience, lighting up the whole arena. It's to die for. Got some books here. Eugene's point of view, the Heartstopper books. Looking at these books, it depicts two boys named Nick and Charlie who are in love with each other. I'd love to read these if I get a chance. It seems like a collection of heartwarming stories. I think Sadie has great taste in books. Romance is also my fave. Her point of view, Eugene was skimming through Heartstopper with a smile on his face, and it made me grin as well. He looked really interested in the story despite only looking through a bit of it, and it warmed my heart. I wonder what it's like being in the LGBTQ community inside a Stellar. Alright. If you investigate this poster, you'll be unable to investigate any other items in Sadie's room. Yeah, look into that. When Eugene was about to move to the final wall, I panicked, realizing I had an art print of him that he would definitely see if I kept it there. Alright, real quick guys, let me go ahead. I should have left this music alone, because I was just trying to turn it up thinking I was missing something, but yeah. It's, it's a little bit loud, I feel like. Yeah, there we go. At least I can hear what the music sounds like now, so I can turn it to the appropriate levels. So Sadie says, Eugene, would you close your eyes for like 2 seconds? He turned to me, confused. Why, do you have something to hide? Something scandalous? That's funny. I could tell that he was joking, but I was literally freaking out. No. You can trust me, Sadie. I won't judge you. He didn't even try to convince me that much that I was already caving. I sighed so loudly that the neighbors next door probably heard it. Fine, however, you need to keep your word, sir. No judging. I stuck my finger in his face to make sure he knew that I was being serious. He chuckled and gave me a fake salute. Oh my. I love that expression on his face. Yes, ma'am. As he turned to the next wall, my blood pressure increased for the 7th millionth time that day. Eugene immediately stopped at the poster of him, and I felt like my breath hitched slightly. The poster depicted him in his signature stellar outfit, wielding his sword. Yeah, that's what it was that he took outside the school to prove to her that it was him. It was this magical sword that came from thin air, that he was able to pull out of thin air and then basically put back in thin air after he was done swinging it around. He had a serious expression on his face, but the artist still did an amazing job of capturing his charm. I thought about what the artist would think if he knew that Eugene himself was looking at their art. He'd probably cry, or laugh, or both. I couldn't see how Eugene was reacting to the poster at all, with his back turned to me. Eugene? When he didn't respond, I got up from my bed and walked towards him. Hey. I grabbed his shoulder and turned him gently towards me. When I looked at his face, I realized that he was crying. Aw, you could see the tears in his eyes. What the hell is he crying for? I couldn't hide my shock. I stared at him in complete silence, no words coming out of my mouth. Sorry. I'm sorry, I just, Man, he really is crying, ain't he? I just, My God, this is all so... It's all so overwhelming. You have a picture of me up in your room. Basically, everyone knows who I am. My world is a video game. For a moment, I had no idea what to say to possibly remedy Eugene's panicking emotions. I wasn't even entirely sure if anything I could say would even help him. However, I am all he has right now in his wacky, out of this world, literally, situation. I should tell him that I'm here for him, and that I want to help. It is the truth, after all. Eugene, you don't have to wrap your head around all this right now. All now, especially all alone. We could figure it all out together. I'm here for you. I know that we just barely met, but the fact that you have faith in a regular Earth girl like me, that means a lot. Everything will be okay. Eugene's eyes were shiny and red now, but somehow it made the otherworldly pink even more beautiful. He shook his head. Oh, look, I'm sorry. I didn't think a stupid poster could make me this emotional. This is, it's so embarrassing. He's crying again. No, it's not embarrassing, Sadie says. I think it is way more embarrassing that you're looking at a picture of yourself on my wall. On my wall? I giggled, trying to lighten the mood. Eugene stifled a laugh, telling me that my silly little comment worked. No, that's not embarrassing. Look, I'm flattered, really. Really? You don't even think I'm a little bit crazy? Like I said, we just met. How do you know that I'm not a little out of my mind right now? I playfully elbowed him. That made him laugh out loud this time. There we go. There's a better face than seeing him crying, right? Like I said, Sadie, you're so familiar to me. It feels like I've known you for ages already. I blushed again, a little right then and there. Well, that means we will definitely work well together as a team, like he said. We are in this together, okay? Eugene smiled at me. A tired smile, but a genuine one. Thank you, Sadie. It means the world. Both of our worlds. Oh, that was so dorky, she says. I giggled. Eugene rolled his eyes. Hey now, don't get it twisted. You're the dorky one here. And he makes that face again, that one-eyed face. I mean, look at this place. Eugene motioned to my entire room as he said that. We laughed together. and a sense of comfort flooded over my entire body. I never thought I would be in this situation in my entire life, yet here I was, hanging out with my favorite fictional character of all time, Eugene. I would be lying if I told you I wasn't nervous about the uncertain future ahead of us. However, right now, hanging out with Eugene and showing him the ins and outs of my life, it was just so amazing. I hope things will stay somewhat calm like this for a little while longer. 11:39 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So they're in school again. And Sadie says, "Are you sure you're comfortable with meeting my friends?" Eugene and I were walking to lunch together the very next day, and I decided that it was the perfect time to introduce him to my friends, Scarlett and Grace. However, I wanted to make sure that he was ready. Yeah, from what you told me yesterday, they seem lovely. Well, they don't play Stellar, so that's good. They only know that I'm obsessed with you, but in the game, you look so different. Or sort of different. You look sort of different. So I don't think there will be an issue. I was biting the nail of my pointer finger nervously. You're obsessed with me? Wow. And he makes that same face again. He poked my arm. Oh, don't flatter yourself. The real deal is way more disappointing. I like the way they're playfully, messing with each other and joking around. That's really cool. It makes reading the novel really fun, and I think the author of this did a really good job of kind of portraying the fun that she imagined in this, in this visual novel. I rolled my eyes playfully. Eugene gasped dramatically. Ouch, my heart has been shattered. I laughed at him as I opened the door to Miss Parr's classroom, which is where my friends and I always ate lunch. Well, this will be interesting. Sat at one of the tables in the corner were Scarlett and Grace, whom I had been best friends with since kindergarten. Long time. Grace waved at us enthusiastically when we walked in. Hi, Sadie. I grinned and waved back as I walked over to their table. You've unlocked a journal entry. Eugene followed close behind. Sadie says, Hey, I've got someone to introduce to you guys. This is Eugene. He transferred to our school yesterday, and he's become fast friends with me. He's in my homeroom. Hello. Eugene seemed really excited to meet some more new people. I can imagine that being alone for 2 weeks, avoiding everyone in the school, must have been pretty tough for him. And Scarlett says, Nice to meet you, Eugene. I'm Scarlett. Scarlett held out her hand to shake his. Another journal entry. He gingerly shook it and smiled. He says, Hi, Scarlett. And Grace says, I'm Grace. It's so nice to meet you. You like the school so far? Well, technically you've only been here for 1 day, but I still want your opinion. We all took our seats at the table, and Eugene nodded in response. Yeah, like you said, I haven't been here very long, but I can already tell it's going to be much better than my last school. Oh, what school did you go to last? Said Scarlett. Uh-oh, that's a tough question to ask. My heartbeat skipped at that question. Exactly. I snuck a glance at Eugene, attempting to read his face and to see if he even had an answer. I went to Williamson High School. It was hell, honestly. I'm glad my family moved to this side of town, otherwise I'd still be stuck over there. He was completely calm answering Scarlett's sudden question. I tried not to stare at him, in a complete awe. He really had done his research. He had a whole frickin' fake backstory. Oh darn, yeah, I heard about some sketchy shit over there. I'm glad you're over here then. Scarlett took a sip of her apple juice, not suspecting a single thing. I was kind of glad that she wasn't looking at me because it was taking every bone in my body to not gawk at Eugene in that very moment. I probably looked super uncomfortable and suspicious. What classes are you taking? I'm curious because you joined towards the end of the year. I have no idea which classes are open. Well, I have homeroom with Sadie, but then I have psychology, history, weight training, English, algebra, gender studies, and then ethnic studies. Wow, that's a pretty sweet lineup. Good for you. Thanks. I feel super lucky. What are you guys up to later today? Or Sadie says. So what are you guys up to later today? I got to draft the next issue of school paper today. Plus, the headline is just not cutting it for me. The lead story is just so boring. I need something more catchy, you know? And then Scarlett says, I'll probably just go home and watch Heartstopper or something, honestly. You've watched it like a billion times now, Scarlett. When will it be enough? What are you saying? I can't enjoy romance? I know I'm a romantic, Grace, but that doesn't mean I'm banned from enjoying some fictional romance from time to time. You know that is not what I meant. She's making that face with one eye open and one eye closed. That's funny. Grace playfully flicked Scarlett's shoulder. I started giggling at them, which started a chain reaction, and suddenly all of us were laughing. All of us had recovered, and Eugene opened his mouth to ask a question. Uh-oh, this sounds like something big's coming. Eugene says, I have a question for you guys. The three of us turned to him, curious. Sure, what is it? Katie says. How did all three of you meet? You guys seem so close. And Grace looked at me. Katie, you want to tell the story? I grinned. Sure, I mean it's pretty simple, but we all met in kindergarten. We went to the same elementary school. And he says, wow, so you guys have known each other for a while now then. And Scarlett says, isn't it obvious? And he says, I see where Sadie inherited her sass from. Eugene raised an eyebrow slightly and pointed at both Scarlett and Grace. They both burst out laughing. I like the art. Oh, definitely. She used to be so shy back in elementary, but I think we helped her gain some confidence. The only people she had ever talked to were us back then. I felt heat rising in my cheeks as I glared at Grace. Oh, shut your mouth. You can't say this stuff right now. We just met this man. I was way more embarrassed about this than I normally would be. What? He can know? He's your friend. I glanced at Eugene, and he was already laughing. I covered my face with my hands and started laughing as well. This is fun. And Scarlett says, you guys are so cute. That made my face turn a deeper shade of red, and it stayed like that for the rest of lunch. That's too cool. After lunch, we all decided to walk to our next classes together. As we strolled through the halls, I couldn't help but wonder what Eugene's true opinion of the school was, coming from a mega high-tech high-tech space school that he was located on a literal spaceship. The tiles on the ceiling of the school were slowly peeling off with time, along with the fact that there were suspiciously colored stains streaked across each tile. The lockers had been painted a sad pastel yellow color, like it was trying to inspire some happy emotions, but it just left you with a bad taste in your mouth instead. Yeah, I can understand that. The only thing that was the only thing that was saving the school from looking like a complete dump site were some student-painted murals that were on various walls. My personal favorites were the Pride mural, the Black Lives Matter mural, and the Planet mural near the Science Hall. It brightened up the melancholy space so much. I think most students take them for granted. Every time I pass one, I always feel slightly inspired. I wonder if anyone else at this public school feels the same. Grace says, "So, your name is Eugene, huh?" Oh, I hope she doesn't recognize that he's like her favorite. He's the dude that Sadie is in love with in her video game. Grace had suddenly asked Eugene a question as we were walking down the hallway. Yeah, why? My name's Eugene. Eugene sounded like he was as confused as I was starting to feel. Grace says, "Well, you have the same name as this character from a video game that Sadie likes." And again, making that same one-eyed open look. Oh my god. Grace elbowed Eugene's arm as she said that. Uh-oh. Does she know? I wonder if she knows. I could hear the joking nature in her tone, but it didn't stop me from beginning to sweat. "Oh, really?" he says. Eugene was starting to look very uncomfortable. And I said, "Hey, stop it." I whispered this harshly in Grace's ear, desperate for her to stop talking. "Oh, you also look kind of like him now that I'm saying that out loud." Oh, wow. "Are you sure you're not pranking us as a cosplayer, Sadie?" Oh my god, you pranking us with a cosplayer? Man, I remember when I thought this was all a prank as well. I really can't tell whether it's a blessing or a curse. No, I can assure you, Grace, that he's a regular person. You're out of your mind. Darla says, "He's just joking, guys. Grace doesn't even play Stellar, and neither do I. He has no idea what she's even talking about." Eugene says, "Oh, that open world RPG? I've actually heard of it. People have said that I look like one character from that game, but I don't play it either, so I guess I really wouldn't know." Oh my, he played it off perfectly. Eugene expertly harnessed his calm attitude once again. I wanted to breathe out a sigh of relief, but I just held it in. And Grace says, "See, I'm not completely out of my mind here." Grace elbowed me this time. I said nothing in response, afraid that anything I said would make it even worse. Scarlett says, well, anyway, did you guys hear that there will be a fire drill 8th period?" "Thank you for changing the subject, Scarlett. I love you more than you'll ever know." "Oh god, for real? During my English period? You gotta be joking." On top of that, and Sadie says, "On top of that, it's raining outside even though it was literally sunny just yesterday." Scarlett says, "Well, that's Oregon for you." "Well, they're right over in Oregon, huh?" Eugene says, this might sound really stupid, but how do you guys' fire drills actually work here? Like, what happens? What should I do?" I wondered at that moment if Eugene was going to get away with asking that sort of question because literally all the fire drills at every high school are exactly the same. Exactly, I was just thinking the same thing. Like, how do you not know one fire drill in one school is going to be pretty much the same in any other school or whatever? I braced for impact. Grace says, "Basically, you'll hear an alarm, a loud alarm, and then you'll follow your class outside to the field, line up. The teacher will take the attendance, and booda bing, booda boom. It's easy peasy." I wanted to breathe out yet another sigh of relief right there. Oh, okay, well, that does sound easy. Thanks for the really simple explanation, Grace. Simple explanations are my forte. I can write a killer summary. I can write a killer summary of anything. And again, that one-eyed expression. That caused an embarrassed chuckle from Scarlett, and that's when all four of us burst out laughing, dissipating the tension from before completely. Even though I was upset with Grace for prying into Eugene's name and identity, I was so happy that my friends and Eugene were getting along so well. Being around all three of them instantly made me feel super happy. It felt like a warm hug and a beautiful summer day. despite the fact that it was cold and pouring rain outside. Now, that's something it does in Oregon all the time is rain, right? There was just something so sweet about the four of us being together, and I couldn't quite explain it. That's awesome, guys. So I am really, really enjoying this visual novel. Again, I am shocked that this writer, this developer, made this game with this kind of art, which is really fun. The writing is really well done. I mean, I can see how some people might look at this and think this is cheesy, but I look at it completely different. I actually am having a lot of fun reading this. I'm actually seeing myself smiling and feeling like feeling the fun and the enthusiasm the developer put into the story so far. And I think this has just been a lot of fun so far. Obviously, it's not very plausible. We're not reading a true to life, super plausible thing here, but we're having a lot of fun. And I think this is a really fun visual novel. I got to tell you guys, I'm really enjoying this one. And so far, I'd have to say that I got lucky yet again. I picked out another, what seems like a great little visual novel. It just seems like I have a knack for being able to do this over the years. It seems like most of these little visual novels that I've played and read aloud over the years have been, most of them have been really, really good, and I've really enjoyed them. So we're going to go ahead and leave that here with part two, guys. I want to try to get most of these done in just under an hour or so. I don't want to go on reading for like hours because I also know that when I turn these into YouTube videos and people watch them, I know most people aren't going to sit there and watch some like 2, 3, 4 hour visual novel of me reading for just hours on end. So hopefully these are more bite size and something that people can take in just about an hour at a time. I do want to go and thank you guys for tuning in and watching this live stream or the part two video that I'll have over on my YouTube channel. I want to thank you guys for watching. We'll definitely get back with live stream into the Moonshine number 282 soon, and that'll be part three of this visual novel, Stellar One. So I do want to go and thank you guys for being here, and have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time it is when you are watching this. And we'll see you in the next one, everybody. Take care. Peace, everybody. Love you all.